Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're focusing on a story that deserves your full attention, not just because of what happened, but because of what it reveals about the state of life for so many ordinary South Africans. In central Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, a recent protest erupted along Johannes Nkosi Street. And while it might not have made national headlines in the way that big political scandals do, the voices behind this protest are every bit as important. These are the voices of real people, people who are tired, frustrated, and running out of patience. This demonstration, captured and shared by the news box and sources like ZE News Flash, saw members of the local community gather in significant numbers to raise their grievances in the most visible way possible, by shutting down a major street in the heart of the city. Let's pause and ask, why would people do this? Why would they risk arrest, tear gas, or even violence just to be seen and heard? It's simple. When you've tried everything else, written letters, attended ward meetings, begged your counselor for help, and nothing changes, you go to the streets. That's the South African reality today. Protests have become the final option when every other door seems closed. These Durban residents weren't protesting for luxury. They weren't demanding anything unreasonable. Their calls were for basic rights, services that should be a given in a country with our resources and constitutional commitments. Clean water, electricity, refuse collection, safe roads, proper housing, employment opportunities, functional infrastructure. This is a story of social neglect. Many of the people protesting along Johannes Nkosi Street live in areas where public services are either failing or completely non-existent. For them, power outages aren't load shedding, they're indefinite blackouts. Water shortages aren't isolated, they're routine. Sanitation is a daily crisis, not a once-off inconvenience. And when you look at the broader social and economic landscape of KwaZulu-Natal, the picture becomes even more dire. KwaZulu-Natal is one of South Africa's most economically vital provinces. Durban, especially, plays a critical role in national commerce thanks to the port of Durban, one of the busiest in Africa. But despite this economic engine, the benefits don't seem to be reaching the townships, informal settlements, and working-class neighborhoods surrounding the city. Unemployment remains sky-high, particularly among the youth. Education is underfunded. Clinics are understaffed. And when disasters strike, whether floods or fires, response is often slow and recovery is uncertain. So when the people of Durban take to the streets, they're not just protesting potholes or power cuts. They're protesting decades of economic exclusion and political neglect. And let's be honest, this protest didn't happen in a vacuum. South Africa is on edge. Across the country, from Gauteng to the Eastern Cape, protests over service delivery and government corruption are on the rise. Citizens are increasingly skeptical of political promises, especially during and after election season. And as the country prepares for the aftermath of the 2024 elections, people are watching closely, waiting to see if any meaningful change will follow the ballot box. The protest on Johannes Nkosi Street was also significant in terms of location. That street, named after a young Communist Party activist and anti-apartheid martyr, carries historical weight. Johannes Nkosi stood up against oppression in the 1930s, and was beaten to death by police in 1930 for protesting. For today's protesters to gather on that very street, in defiance of modern-day neglect, is symbolic. It's a reminder that while the nature of the struggle has changed, the need to fight for dignity and justice remains just as urgent. Media coverage from the news box played a crucial role in amplifying these voices. In a media landscape where protests are often reduced to traffic disruptions or criminal acts, it's refreshing to see platforms giving protesters the respect and seriousness they deserve. Because behind every burning tire is a backstory. Behind every barricade is a household that's been let down too many times. But here's the most concerning part, so far, there's been no significant government response. No public statements from the municipality, no emergency interventions, no engagement with protest leaders, just silence. And that silence is loud. It tells people, yet again, that they are on their own. This is where local leadership must step up. Ward councillors, mayors, and provincial departments need to urgently address these grievances. Not just with photo ops and press releases, but with actual action. That means fixing broken systems, allocating resources fairly, and listening to what communities are saying before things reach a boiling point. We've seen what happens when these issues are ignored for too long. Discontent doesn't just disappear, it grows. It spreads. It explodes. And if leaders are not paying attention, they'll find themselves unable to contain it. What we are witnessing in Durban is a warning sign. And it's not just for politicians, it's for all of us. South Africa's social fabric is under pressure. And if we want to build a country that's stable, prosperous, and just, we need to listen to the people who are hurting. That starts with acknowledging the legitimacy of their grievances. Then comes the real work, transforming the systems that keep them trapped in poverty. This isn't just a Durban story. It's a South African story. And it's far from over. If you care about these issues, if you want to see justice, equality, and proper governance in South Africa, then make sure you're part of the conversation. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, leave a comment below. Tell us, what should the government be doing? Are local municipalities failing the people? How do we build real accountability? Your voice matters. And together, we can shine a light on the issues that others try to ignore. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay aware, stay active, and stay hopeful. See you next time.